In 1932, Congress designated Fort Knox as a permanent garrison. The base has had a long history of training soldiers in the most innovative tactics of strategic warfare. Today, the $13.2 million complex is the centerpiece of its training facility, a 26-acre fake city where the Army's men and women get to test their military muscle.
You've got equipment, you've got communications architectures, and you've got people. You've got to put them together under tremendous duress and expect them to achieve excellence every day. Because if you don't, people's lives are at stake. We have a program now called the Gauntlet, where we take our young officers and non-commissioned officers out in the field, put them in their equipment, their tanks and scout vehicles, etc. Put them into urban as well as open terrain against a thinking enemy, each other in fact, and we do a force-on-force decision-making exercise. Day, night, cold, wet, rain, and then we grade them on their work. Not with an A or B or C or D, we grade them with, these are your strong points, these are your improvement points, let's work together on the improving points, and then you go back and do it again.
On a humid summer day, the High Command at Fort Knox allowed Travel Channel to follow an urban combat training exercise.
Well, our attacking force is a tank company team that is combined tanks and infantry from the New York National Guard's 1st Battalion, 101st Cav from Staten Island.
The tank company's mission is to overpower the defending force occupying the city, a squad of Navy Reserve Seabees from Louisville, Kentucky. The Seabees are being assisted by the city's civilian population, played by local volunteers.
Okay. They were armed. They have at least M16s we saw. I believe the 5 houses that we believe are hostile, I'm pretty sure those are all occupied.
The soldiers are equipped with M16s loaded with blanks, grenade launchers, and tanks. The company commander prepares the troops for combat.
There's going to be real-world stuff out there. You're going to have to deal with the civilian population today that you have not dealt with. You're going to have to deal with guerrillas today.
If you die, I'm going to kill you anyway.
A field officer makes sure their high-tech laser gear is activated.
All right, engineer, you ready to kill something?
Laser vests will tell the soldiers when they've been wounded or killed.
They have a master computer that can tell us where we are on the battlefield. So this is state-of-the-art technology.
The commander briefs each unit before the troops move out.
Tankers, provide that suppressive fire and keep in contact with these guys, okay? You are the key for these guys getting in and not getting killed. You've got the firepower. 1, 2, 3.
In 90-degree heat, dressed in full combat fatigues and flak jackets, the soldiers from the 101st begin their assault.
Go up, go up.
The infantry advance through the surrounding grassland and forest.
Sable 1 Romeo, 76 Romeo.
They now must attack armed combatants occupying the city. A complex of 22 buildings, which includes a hotel, offices, a TV station, fire department, and even a school. The natural sounds of urban life, like children playing in a schoolyard, come from large, loud speakers.
The advantage to the realism is we're going to expose the individual that's training in here to all his senses, and we're going to trigger all those senses in a training environment so they're not a shock to him in a real environment.
Go, 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 go!
The street-to-street combat is designed to simulate the reality of 21st century warfare.
Buildings burning, telephone poles come down, streets blowing up. It's amazing what they can do to this city and how realistic the training is. One of the most realistic training I've ever been through.
The pyrotechnics come straight from Hollywood. Universal Studios, MGM, and Disney helped design the special effects like burning cars, collapsing bridges, explosions, and smoke bombs. Even the sound system was modeled after the movie Jurassic Park.
We have actual buildings that are loaded with propane. They will burn throughout the exercise. throughout the streets. There are landmines placed, not actual landmines, but tactical explosive landmines, and they'll explode as we go through. We have 50 caliber machine guns that operate on propane located throughout the city in a tower, and they set off sound effects.
We bring you in the door, we scare the devil out of you. You may not have a good time, but you'll leave trained.
Tanks fire on the occupied buildings. Ground troops make their attack. The chaos of this war is all too real.
Do not come in here unless you remove everything from your pockets. Cover them, cover them. Cover them all. You will get it back. Leave it where it is, and when we secure this area, you'll get it back.
The constant gunfire has everyone's adrenaline pumping. This is reality combat training at its best. Tensions are high.
Hey, you're not coming in my building. Listen, man, kneel down. Kneel down now.
The civilians present the soldiers with unexpected challenges by turning against their allies.
Our entire force was wiped out and killed by the townsfolk's police unit, who were supposed to be on our side.
Medic! We got civilians wounded!
We need help! We're surrendering!
With civilians wounded or dead, all hell breaks loose. And attacking soldiers are hesitant to help the civilians on the ground.
We're surrendering! We need massive medical help! And all they're telling us to do is get down. They're not getting out of their tanks to help us. They're giving us no aid. We have We've done nothing. They're not giving us any help!
After the smoke clears, soldiers score their performance. Sergeant Joseph Byzantine is with the 101st. His company led an assault on the occupied schoolhouse.
As expected, we took about 70% casualty, but that's expected in an urban environment. Engineers did a great job. The leadership, our timing, everything worked out, and that's backwards planning. We planned effectively, and we succeeded in our mission. The mission was to take the school, and we did.
The training mission lasts for 2 days. 2 days of combat that for these soldiers could someday mean the difference between life and death.
What we're going to do now is a little AAR, figure out what happened, why it happened, and how we can do it a little bit better next time. Okay.
Our task was to occupy battle positions past Ridge Road. We didn't know if there were landmines or whatnot, and the engineer assets were with the scouts sweeping across that area, so my commander decided to use the M88 to clear the obstacle, which was fine and dandy until he went too far and got caught in the kill sack between buildings 8, 4, 1, and 5.
Exactly. That's a learning point, right? You know something, man? I remember watching you. You was like a tanker guy last night. You know what I'm saying? You was up on that 240 rocking and rolling and dealing death.
We need this kind of training because it's the realism and the confusion and the things that really happen in battle. It happens here. A lot of screaming, a lot of confusion, and a lot of organizing until you get the situation under control. And that's realism. And can't get more realistic than we have here.
Each year, more than 80,000 soldiers come to the Zussman complex. From the National Guard to reserve soldiers to divisions on active duty, the Urban Combat Center keeps troops trained and ready for 21st century warfare. It happens just once a year in Fort Knox, Kentucky.
You're going to see some amazing weapon systems under current technology.
Bradley fighting machines, Apache helicopters, multi-launch rocket systems.
You're going to see how we put all of these systems into battle, how we put still on target, how we create destruction downrange.
Each July, the U.S. Army puts on a show unlike any other, and the public is invited. The 16th Cavalry, which is stationed here at Fort Knox, pulls out all the stops to demonstrate the Army's impressive arsenal. Travel Channel obtained special permission to film this massive display of firepower called CALFEX, Combined Arms Live Fire Exercises.
It was initially started for the United States Military Academy cadets because they have no familiarization with Army equipment, and they provide the resources to be able to put on the show today.
Identify!
There are 3 CalFEC shows, but the public is invited only to one of them.
There's 3 shows that are fired. The last 2 shows are actually tailored to the cadets. They open it up to the community for the first show. Actually, we like to call that our last rehearsal before the cadets get here.
While the soldiers are getting ready to show off their stuff, visitors can check out tanks on display from the Patton Museum. John Selman is the company commander.
There's a crew of 4 here, and they each have a very individual job. It takes a team to operate just one piece of equipment. And when you have the hull, the bottom part of the tank going to the right, and the turret spinning around to the left, it's all the tank commander can do to get everybody working in harmony and synchronization to make this thing a lethal killing machine.
There's also special gear these soldiers wear, even in these mock war exercises.
All that you see here is fire retardant material. The Nomax gloves, the Nomax uniform, all the way down to my all-leather boots. Sometimes in the tank, we will have a flashback. If a round is bad, it could have a fireball inside the tank. Not very deadly, but it could burn us. And so this stuff will prevent me from getting burns on my body.
And then the show begins.
I'm going to show you all the different weapon systems that work for the company team. You're going to see all the weapon systems come up. You're going to see them engage targets downrange. We're going to show you what they can do.
Ladies and gentlemen, the AH-64 Apache attack helicopter. It can be armed with up to 16 Hellfire laser-guided anti-tank missiles which can destroy enemy tanks at 8,000 meters, or up to 72 70-millimeter Hydra rockets which defeat light armored targets out to 9,000 meters.
Next comes the Avenger, a mobile surface-to-air defense system that fires Stinger missiles. The Avenger's also equipped with a 50 caliber automatic machine gun to fire on ground targets. The Avengers are followed by ground troops dressed in camouflage gear.
Scouts are the eyes and ears of the maneuver battalion. They rely on stealth to infiltrate enemy lines and provide critical information directly to the main body. Undetected, the scout uses binoculars and radios to provide intelligence and early warning of enemy location to the squadron commander.
And the Humvee, a 1 1/4 ton 4x4 tactical vehicle. It's equipped with a 50 caliber machine gun that fires up to 600 rounds per minute, and the Mark 19 machine gun system that can launch 350 grenades per minute at ranges up to 6,000 feet.
Ladies and gentlemen, infantry, the queen of battle. This infantry squad you see is armed with the M16A2 semi-automatic rifle, the squad automatic weapon, and 2 AT-4 anti-tank rockets.
The infantry scouts unleash their withering firepower on targets downrange. Next, the Bradley fighting machines demonstrate their firepower. Not classified as tanks, these lightly armored full-track vehicles showed their muscle in both Gulf Wars.
Fire! And now, weighing in at 72 tons, the heavyweight champion of the world, the M1A2 Sep Abrams main battle tank.
One day a tank 2-liter may find himself maneuvering his tanks across the desert of Puerto Rico, California, and the next day, halfway around the world, facing a battle-hardened enemy.
Finally, the M1A2 Abrams tank shows its stuff. It's one of the most powerful weapons the Army has to offer.
Enemy contact is imminent.
The troops let loose a breathtaking display of devastating force of the M1A2.
Fire!
It's a lot of work to operate one of these things, but when you finally get inside that thing and get to do your craft and what you've trained to do since you've been in the military, there's no better sensation.
Target, ceasefire. All right, good job.
It's extremely fast, and this thing can stop on a dime.
Fire.
The strength of the armed forces is not in its individual arms, but in the combined firepower, maneuverability, and intelligence of all the forces and weapons. The climax of the show comes with a display of the entire arsenal firing together. Air power, firepower, manpower. Together, they overpower any enemy.
This is Gator 6. Prepare to defend. Red, once you ID the main body, call for suppression. The Apaches are en route.
Fort Knox. It's a city of many faces. From its mythic gold vault to its high-tech training facilities. From its championship golf courses to the battle exercises that show off the Army's most powerful weapons. And surrounding it all is a flourishing city. Heavily guarded, yet open to all who want to visit and uncover the secrets of Fort Knox.